So you guys have to excuse me, man, if I look a little bit of a hot mess. Of course, that's how I usually look in my videos because I just don't care. And I know a lot of people are like, man, you guys got the same white shirt on. Well, I have a lot of white shirts that, you know, you would buy from the dollar store. Like throwaway shirts or lounge around shirts. That's what I pretty much call them. So there's that. I remember I did a video called Women. And I was going into the conversation about why most women, if not almost all of them, steer to a narrative of want to be an abusive relationship when you see a lot of their statuses that say, you know, good guys are no fun and bad guys are no good. And how I felt about those type of statements, because things like that in real life do lead to people getting killed. You know, a lot of the murder crime shows with a lot of those real cases are things based off those type of status, off those type of words, off that type of mindset. And I did that for the female audience. Like, look, you kind of really want to rethink what you want to say, because understand, you know, there's good people and there's bad people in this world, and there's people that you need to steer away from. And I did that video. It's like, look, you need to steer away from what you're saying, because you got to be careful what you ask for and what you wish for, because eventually it will come true. You know, eventually it will come true. Well, the same thing, I want to do this for the men and the type of women, you see by the title, type of women to stay away from. And these are a lot of things that, you know, I have seen personally, if not dealt with and been in myself as well. So, what are the type of women to truly steer away from? Like, you can break this down into narratives, give the definitions along with the examples out here. And pardon the background noise, like I do have animals, they do bark, their dogs, that's what they're going to do. And this neighborhood that I live in does have other pets, so that's what they're going to do. But it's best to really listen to the conversation anyways, just try to ignore the background noise. So, you have, I guess what we would call a cheater. A cheater to me is going to be the lowest one on the food chain. A cheater, somebody that, okay, they get bored, they want to cheat, then that's it. In most cases, you could pretty much, you know, end up with a cheater and be happy with one as well. I myself used to fuck around with a lot of women like that. So there's that. Next, I guess, would be a slut. You know, a slut would just be a woman that would sleep around with multiple men, have relations with them, not being in a relationship within herself. That would be the second part of the lowest of the food chain. That is one right there that can be easily passed on to different people, known as community service, quote unquote. I'm not really going to say what I mean by that. One that eventually did sell for sex. Somebody who will do something for money, and eventually somebody that you could probably end up being with in the near future, and somebody that has a kid to support. The next type would be a whore, which would be the third highest on the food chain, to one that you definitely want to steer away from the most. So the past two is whatever, it's okay. Then we get to the third highest. The third highest is where we're going to get into the danger zone. So the third highest for me, which would be a whore. A whore, and the actual definition, is a woman that is going to have more than multiple kids by different men, bounce from one relationship to the next, while still using, from cheating to doing drugs, and then the next you would cross into a territory that you just don't cross into, which would be actually two of them in this. One of them would be a family, not a family member, but like your spouse with one of their family members. There is this woman who has 2 kids by 2 actual blood brothers. So you can imagine the relationship between those brothers and those kids are. From that would be a false commitment to marriage with what they do, to the point they would escalate into the point of drama. So every day it has to be some shit with them. It would have to be some shit with them to where they're jumping from house to house. Not house, well, from house to house towards of living. They're also jumping from job to job. The job part of that is because they're fucking a cold. So the whore type is what you want to steer away from. We all seen people or know women, like that. To me, what should be the most dangerous to stay away from a type of woman, what should be known as a breeder. Those, I know the term breeder is never really around anymore. I know a lot of people now may not know what that is. Some that may see this video may know what a breeder is. A breeder is a type of a woman that wants to use any man that she comes across for his, his sperm to have a kid with, then leave the man, and then go on to the next, and to the next, and to the next. Where you're just breeding children, and you're also keeping the kids away from the father, and the father away from the kids. And then you're also putting these guys on child support. A good majority, 100% of the time, a lot of the men that go through this are going to be good guys. They're going to be good guys out the bunch, and they're the ones that are going to be suffering along with this. Sadly, I do know somebody like that who was a breeder. And this will also be a person who's not only just collecting child support from, I want to say 7 different men, but she has like 8 kids going into having a job and having a little side thing of her own. So the breeder is one that you really want to steer away from the absolute most. The absolute most. Because that's going to cause so much attention on the drama side of things, because a good majority of your friendship and your inner circle with people that you hang out with is people who she eventually ended up fucking and having kids by. One narrative that's really not going to be in this video, but I'm going to throw it in, which to me, I think it's a lot that all of us pretty much deal with on an everyday basis, especially down here in the South Coast, is, baby mamas. That's something that can really not be steered away from. That's something that can't be helped. Not every woman's going to be the drama type of baby mama. Not their ex-spouse is going to be the jealous, I want to fight you or kill you type. But down here in the South, it is going to be like that. It is going to be the type of the baby mama drama, the ex-daddy type of shit going on. And then you're like the guy, stuck in the middle of this, and you're not wanting to choose sides, and you want to be left out of it. But if you choose, the guy's side and talk to him and try to work things out, then the person that you're with is going to look at you like, oh, well, you're a traitor and a backstabber. But, you know, if you choose her side and, again, trying to, you know, figure things out, then, you know, you're going to make it worse on yourself. So when it comes to the South Coast part of things, if you're like that, again, especially us that live in the South that see this on a day-to-day basis, then you know that's really at the bottom of the food chain, but a little bit higher up towards the drama part of that, to where you want to steer away from it, but it's hard to do. You know, it's something that can be easily overlooked, and it's really best to move on. Sometimes it's okay to still keep in contact with that one chick, because maybe you two may want to still, you know, some things. And most of the time, a lot of them are the freakiest like that. Again, I experienced from this shit. But I think the one that would definitely be the most saddest, the one that will definitely be the most that you really do want to steer away from, which would be a bit more higher up now than the breeder, is for today's young people. Me as a 29-year-old, something that I have seen now going on for the past, man, back when I was in school, I know I talked about this before. I think I broke it down to the majority of what I could. Almost 15 years now. Almost about 15 years. You have, even with the guys and the girls, but, you know, you would have them, especially with the girls now, they took it to another level. That's what I'm about to, I really want to try to explain, but I know a lot of people may take offense to it, is what I call the breeder whore baby mama bisexual dykes. The ones that are gonna fuck a guy, have a kid with, but hook up with one of their family members, have a kid with them, use another person for their money, and then go be with a chick. With that being said, you pretty much have this cluster shit of drama, because they want to carry that drama along with them. Also, they are the type that are eventually going to get their ass beat, because they are the most type to start the drama. They are the most that are going to make these stupid ass statements on social media. And a good majority of the time, they are the ones that do end up in jail and pretty much killed behind closed doors. You come down here in the South, that's pretty much what you'll see the most. Like, the South Coast of America is the gay capital of the world. But again, you know, there's just levels to this that you just don't take. And I actually broke that down into detail. I think, I don't know, in several videos, man. I'm going to have to look for them and link them down in the description of this video so you guys can check those out. But again, you know, this video is pretty much done for, you know, the type of women that you do want to stay away from. And the types that I explained and broke down, you know, you have two of those, which is the really lowest of the bunch. Actually, three of them are the lowest of the bunch. You know, you'd have the cheater, the slut, and, you know, the baby mama. But then you would have the three most type of dangerous ones that you want to stay away from, which is the whore, the breeder, and then, you know, the baby mama slash bisexual slash breeder slash whore slash drama person that does end up being pretty much killed the most, and if not, losing their kids. There's that. I don't hear too many people talking about this like I am, and it's a lot that would be on a lot of people's minds, but they don't speak it though.